This morning, we are taking a closer look at what houses of worship are now doing to make sure that you can safely practice your religion right now. Churches, temples, and mosques are allowed to hold services at 25% capacity. Yesterday, we were showing you why some temples said they were going to hold off despite being allowed to do that. But new for you this morning, Jeff Slauson is joining us live in Lackawanna. He's showing us how some local churches are ready to go. Hi, good morning, Jeff.
Yeah, Katie, good morning. This whole ideal is to try and make sure that people feel safe when entering these places of worship that are so steeped in tradition. And that's no different here than Our Lady of Victory in Lackawanna, who are trying to make sure that they can keep their congregation safe by making some changes to their operations. The basilica can fit roughly 250 people inside, abiding by the 25% capacity policy. Now, the pews, they are separated 6 feet apart, and everyone must wear a mask. New hand sanitizing stations are also installed. But the biggest changes, those happen during the actual service. And this is what Monsignor David LaPuma has to say that you can expect when you're attending Mass.
Come with their mask on. When they come in, they're going to notice right away that there are no more missalettes in the pews, so those have been taken away. Anything that possibly could be touched by other people have been kind of removed. They'll notice that there's no congregational singing, and that's been stopped for the time being. So the procession into the Mass, the priest just comes to the altar. The only other person in the sanctuary with the priest right now will be the lector. The priest does not have to wear a mask during the Mass itself, except when we get to Holy Communion, and then we put the mask on. And we also hand sanitize before communion and right after communion.
There also will be no basket collections going on during Mass. Boxes are going to be situated right outside of the main walking area where you are encouraged to drop off money if you can. Now, you know pretty much as soon as you walk into the basilica here that there are some changes that are needed. So when you walk up to the front door, actually, there are 2 signs that are out front. The first one is talking about the hours that they are available with the limit of 250 people. And then the second one shows you how you are expected to stay 6 feet apart and abide by the CDC guidelines of wearing a face cloth prior to entering. There's also differences in how communion is accepted. They're going to actually drop the host in the hand instead of placing it in there to avoid contact as much as possible. And coming up in the next half hour, we spoke with one church who is deciding to use technology as a different way for them to be able to socially distance and to make sure that they can have some services. We have that coming up in the next half hour, but for now we are live in Lackawanna. Jeff Slauson, 7 Eyewitness News.
Yeah, interesting. So a lot of changes that people are going to have to follow, but we do have those religious services back. Jeff, thank you. We'll check back